Hello, dear viewers. Namaskar. Welcome to MOKSHA Media. You are with MOKSHA Hiramat. We have so many ways regarding the emancipation of life. Different concepts, different ideas are given since time immemorial. Some of them are materialistic, some of them are spiritualistic, some of them combination of materialistic and spiritualistic. Of course, these are the different ways to get emancipation from the wheels of suffering, pain and problems. Different sects, different religions have their own ideas. In the background of this, we can see the ideas propounded in Siddhanta Shikhamani, a masterpiece of Veerashaivism composed in Sanskrit. In the 8th century or in the other century, there is a controversy regarding the composition of Siddhanta Shikhamani. But here, I don't want to get into that controversy. Some controversies are created for some purpose, some profit, and etc. But whatever it may be, here I don't want to confine myself to the innocent understanding or innocent analysis of Siddhanta Shikhamani, because some of the persons innocently analyze Siddhanta Shikhamani and they say this or that, condemning Siddhanta Shikhamani. But I feel they are at wrong ways. But anyhow, Siddhanta Shikhamani tells us something about Ashtavarna, Panchachara and Shatasthala. Ashtavarna is a eightfold path. Panchachara is the practice of 5 things, and Shatasthala is the stages of attaining emancipation one by one. In the background of this, we have to see Siddhanta Shikhamani. And of course, Siddhanta Shikhamani contains 21 chapters. From beginning 1 to 5th chapters say something about the genealogy and etc. That is the innocent part of the Siddhanta Shikhamani. And the last 21st chapter says something about the other things. But in between 5th chapters and 21st chapters, from 6 chapters to 20th chapters are very important for understanding the human emancipation. So we have to concentrate on these chapters which are there in Siddhanta Shikhamani. Of course, Shatasthala has 6 stages, and each stage has been categorized into 2, that is Angasthala and Lingasthala. And again Angasthala and Lingasthala have been categorized into so many sthalas. I have already told of you some sthalas, that is 17th sthalas. Today I would like to tell you something about 18th sthala, which comes in the Angasthala of Maheshwarasthala. Maheshwarasthala is the second stage and Angasthala is the first division, and in Angasthala we have again 79 slokas, etc., etc. That has been divided into 9 sthalas. And here 18th sthala is the Poorvaashraya Nirasana Sthala. What does Poorvaashraya Nirasana Sthala mean? Of course, Poorvaashraya means the things which we practice in the old ashramas or in the old ashrayas. That means before initiating into Shiva Diksha or Shaiva Diksha, some practices are made, some things are practiced. One is habituated to those practices. It may be the dress code, food norms, habits, hobbies, etc., etc. But when one is initiated into Shiva Diksha, he has to give up what he has practiced in the old ashrayas or in the old protections or in the old states. Because if he does not give up those dress code, food norms and hobbies and habits, definitely he cannot go towards spiritualism, definitely he cannot emancipate from his karma or from his other things. Karma means nothing. What we have done, what we are going to do. Of course, it is simply the concept of karma, but some persons carry it and makes it a complicated one. Here, it is not a time to get into that the concept of karma. But here I concentrate on Poorvaashraya Nirasana Sthala. Nirasana means to give up, to detach and disregard the old practices and beliefs. If who has initiated into Shiva Diksha doesn't have any disregard or detachment from the old practices and faiths, definitely he cannot go onward and onward. It obstacles his steps towards spiritualism. That is why the person who is initiated into Shaiva Diksha should give up all those things, whatever it may be. It may be dress code, it may be food norms, it may be habits and habits, it may be some practices and some beliefs. The beliefs, the practices, the food norms, the dress code, which are obstacle towards the spirituality, should be given up. So, a Maheshwara should give up these things. If he does not give up these things, he doesn't go towards spirituality in the Maheshwara Sthala. So a society has two categorizations. One is Prakrut and another one is Aprakrut. Prakrut means one who doesn't have the grace of Shiva. And Aprakrut means one who has the grace of Shiva. One should be a Shiva devotee. It should be confirmed that he is a Shiva, he is a Shiva devotee, a concept of God. Different types of concepts are there, but here it is concentrated on the Shiva concept. But while saying something about Shiva and other things, that Siddhanta Shikhamani doesn't condemn any other concepts which are there in the world, which are propagated in the world. It propounds its own philosophy in its own way and tries to emancipate man from riddles of pain and problems and etc. etc. That is very important. Here, a Prakrit doesn't have the grace of God, whereas Aprakrit is have the grace of God. So one who has the grace of God, who is the devotee of Shiva, who is committed to Shiva, and who practices the Shiva norms and etc. etc. can travel, can make journey from lower level to higher level in the Maheshwara stage. Of course, Poorvaashraya Nirasana Sthala is the 18th Sthala in the Siddhanta Shikamani out of 101 sthalas. So, while practicing this, we have to keep in our mind whether it is Guru or Jangama, whether it is Shivacharya and Shiva Yogi. He should keep these things in his mind, in one's mind, and accordingly he has to act. Then only he can become a real Guru, then only he can become a real Jangama, then only one becomes a Shivacharya or Shiva Yogi or Shiva Yogin. Irrespective of caste, religion, gender discrimination, Siddhanta Shikamani puts forth all these things. So, we have to keep these things while practicing the journey towards the emancipation of humanity. So, Poorvaashraya Nirasana Sthala is also important as other sthalas. You cannot say this sthala is important, that sthala is not important, like that. So, in order to get moksha from the problems of from pains and problems, one has to follow all these sthalas because they take us to the higher and higher level one by one and step by step. So, in keeping these things, we have to practice, and we have to practice the Ashtavarna, Panchacharas and Shatasthalas. Whether it is a Shiva Yogi, whether it is a Shivacharya or Shiva Yogi, whether it is a Guru and Jangama, one has to keep it in this mind. But most of us nowadays think that Guru and Jangama are same. No. They have different duties, they have different works, they have different things. But nowadays we have forgotten that, and Guru becomes a Jangama and Jangama becomes a Guru. There lies the danger. Most of the persons who leads or who are in the forefront of Virashayism or who said to be Lingayitism are in confusion regarding this. But while we study the ancient things, it is clearly said that Guru and Jangama are different. So we say Guru, Linga and Jangama. One is to serve Guru with his body. That is, service to the Guru is very important. One is to concentrate one's mind on Linga, and one is to serve Jangama with Ashraya and Anna, that is Ahara, food and money, because Jangama has to go from one place to another place. He does not stay in one place. If he stays in one place, he doesn't become a Jangama. Anyone can become a Jangama irrespective of caste, creed and gender discrimination. And Guru stays in one place because there are devotees. He has to guide those devotees every day, because these Ashtavarna or Panchacharas starts from when the a child is in the stomach of a mother at the at the 5th month, and at that time a guru comes and ties a linga to that mother. It goes on and on like this, but there are some practices, but we have forgotten those practices and thinking that we are different. That means we have created so many things. One who has given up one's ancient faith, one's traditional faith, and accepts Virashayuram, then he is initiated into Diksha by tying a linga, and he becomes a linga, and one becomes a lingayat. Then his journey towards Shatasthalas begins. So like that, there are so many categorization, so many understandings. We should not be made others confused, and we should not be in confusion ourselves. But unfortunately, there are some persons who created confusion and who made others confused also, because they don't have academic study. They have simply the study of division and service the rulers. If you have the division and service to the rulers, one cannot help such persons. Of course, such persons are there. They were there at the time of British rules also. And division in Virashayam begins in the British rule itself. That is another story. Here I don't want to get in confrontation with that story because it is already told, already discussed in my book Virashaiva, an analytical study. So here, that is 18th Sthala, Poorvaashraya Nirasana Sthala, is one of the sthalas out of 101 sthalas, and one should give up all the things which are pertaining to old faith, old beliefs. That means old beliefs means that is the before initiating into the Shiva Diksha. So like this, we have to take into account this sthala, and accordingly we have to practice. Then only we can go towards the emancipation of humanity from the danger, problems and pains, etc., etc. So, dear viewers, subscribe and see you in the next episode. Namaskar.